Hello everyone. I will start today's video with one question. The question is it possible to attach single volume to multiple EC2 instances at the same time? The answer is no. But why no? Let's discuss in this video. So our today's topic is EFS, that is Elastic File System. Now let's assume that I have three EC2 instances in three availability zones and each EC2 instances will have one default root volume. This root volume we have seen in Elastic Block Storage. So each EC2 instances will have one default root volume. So let's understand with diagram. So we will have three EC2 instances. We will have three EC2 instances and three EC2 instances will have one default root value. Here one default root value. Here also one default root value and here also one default root value. This is our EC2 instance. This is our EC2 instance. Okay. This EC2 instances is placed in 1A availability zone. This is 1B availability zone. And this EC2 instance is 1B availability, 1C availability. Now EC2 instances are their default root values. Okay, here also default root value. Okay, now if I want to share the data among these three EC2 instances, if I want to share the data among three EC2 instances, so can I share to all these machines at once? The answer is no, because every availability zones has their own root values. So every EC2 instances will have their own data, but in case if in my organization I have requirement that I need to share the data. So to all EC2 instances at one. Like if I have requirement in my organization and they are saying that I need to share the data to all EC2 instances at once. So for that I need to have share folder. If I am to share the data among these EC2 instances, for that I need a share folder. And in AWS we have a concept that is EFS, Elastic File System. So instead of share folder we will say in AWS that is Elastic File System. Simple. In these three EC2 instances we cannot share the data because every EC2 instances had their own default root values. Okay, so but in my organization I will have requirement that I need to share the data among three EC2 instances at once. So I need here share data folder. Okay, instead of saying share data in AWS will provide a service that is EFS, Elastic File System, where we can share the data to all machines at once. So what I will do here, I will attach one EFS, Elastic File System, to all these three EC2 instances. I will attach one EFS to all these EC2 instances. Okay. I attach EFS to all three EC2 instances and I will mount this EFS to each EC2 instances separately. Okay. I will mount this EFS to each EC2 instances. I will mount here. Okay. I will mount to these EC2 instances also. I will mount here also. Mount is nothing but EFS will be attached to the EC2 instances. What is the meaning of mount? Mount is nothing but attach. Okay. So EFS is mount to the this EC2 instances. EFS is mount to this separate and EFS is mount to the this. Okay. I have created one Elastic File System for all the machines, like for all the EC2 instances, and I can share this data separately. Like I can attach this EFS separately to each EC2 instances. Now what I can do here is I will create EFS for all EC2 instances. Like I have created EFS for all EC2 instances and I will mount this EFS to every single EC2 instances. I have mount this EFS to every EC2 instances. Okay. Now if I mount EFS to EC2 instances, it will act like a drive. Like if I attach EFS to this EC2 instances separately, this EFS will act like a drive only, so that I can share the data. So if I want to share the data across EC2 instances, I will use EFS service. Okay. Now important is EFS is concept is only for Linux EC2 instances. Like if I attach EFS here, I can share the data here. I have attached EFS, so I can share data here also. I can share data, means I can store the data here also. I can store the data here also. So I can share data among the EC2 instances by attaching EFS to each EC2 instances. Okay, I have created EFS for all three EC2 instances separately. For all three EC2 instances, and I can share the data separately to each EC2 instance using service called as EFS Elastic File System. But the most important is EFS is only for Linux EC2 instances. It will not work for Windows EC2 instances. So now let's note down some important points in EFS Elastic File System. The first point is EFS is only for Linux EC2 instances. EFS is only for Linux EC2 instances. Then for Windows, what we can use? For Windows is FSX. For Windows, FSX is for Windows EC2 instances. Now, the most important is EFX has unlimited storage. Unlimited storage. EFS has unlimited storage. Now EFS works with, just a minute guys. EFS works with NFS protocol. EFS works with NFS protocol. These all questions are based on interview point of view. So this is important as an interview point of view. Now EFS is a file-based storage. EFS is a file-based storage. EFS can be mounted to multiple EC2 instances. At the same time. Okay, EFS is only for Linux EC2 instances. EFS is for Windows EC2 instances. EFS has unlimited storage. EFS works with NFS protocol. EFS is a file-based storage. EFS can be mounted to multiple EC2 instances at the same time. Then what is the definition of EFS? What is the definition of EFS? Like it is the AWS storage. It is the AWS service where we can share file data without managing servers. What is the definition of EFS? It is the AWS service where we can share the file data without managing servers. Okay. In simple words, what is EFS? Like we cannot share the data in using root value. So what I did here, I created a EFS Elastic File System in AWS and attach this EFS to each EC2 instances. Using this, I can share the file data. Okay. So EFS is very important because in real time when we will work with any organization, we have to share the data among each other. So we must know what is EFS, Elastic File System. So in coming days, we will cover this in practicals, how to create this data and all that.